Cursed items. Are they real? Or are they just a myth?
She opens her mouth and blood just starts dripping out of her mouth. I'm like seeing things that aren't really there. There's this weird looking symbol. I have no idea what the hell this is. There's this weird symbol on the back of the doll right there. That is known as the witch's foot. I found this at a local garage sale. I'm making this video because I don't know what's going on with me. Mystique. Ed and Lorraine Warren were one of the most famous paranormal investigators in the world. Ed and Lorraine Warren owned one of the largest private collections of cursed items right in their home. This would be known as the Ed and Lorraine Warren Occult Museum. Out of thousands of cursed items that were in their home, right in their home. Out of the thousands of cursed items that they had, there was one cursed item that was the most evil, the most dangerous, and the most famous one of them all. The Annabelle doll.
The Raggedy Ann doll.
Yes. That's probably the worst thing we have in this whole museum. That Raggedy Ann doll was given to a nurse in 1970 by her mother as a Christmas present. But as most girls do, even 28 years old, she would take the doll to bed with her, wrap her arm around and go to sleep. I'd do the same thing with a pillow. But then she started taking it to the breakfast nook where the arms one morning went onto the table. Now she lived with another nurse, and they shared the expenses of the apartment, which was 4 blocks away from Hartford Hospital.
Right.
At that point, they told the girls about the incident, and one said, "I know a medium." So they held a seance that night. That was the beginning of many seances with this doll. They would come home at night, and the woman had told them, the medium, that there was a spirit of a 6-year-old child in the doll by the name of Annabelle, who had been killed outside of their apartment house in an automobile accident. Well, there was such a child, but God does not allow a child's spirit to go into a doll. This was a devil, a demon, inside the doll, which was impersonating the spirit of a child. Well, they treated it like it was a child. They got extra clothing, and they got different types of bracelets and things for it, just treating it like a little girl. They would take her for rides. But then they started to become frightened when things were happening in the house, sounds, knockings, rappings, whispering. And they said, "Oh, Annabelle must want another seance." So they would hold a seance going deeper down that road of no return. Then they would take the doll and put it on the bedroom, in the bed, and they'd leave it there. They'd come home after midnight, the 2 girls, open up the door, and this doll would be standing there waiting for them. Now that doll can't stand. You can see it has very flimsy legs, but I've seen it stand. Now these are all the diabolical manifestations that we look for. Well, as time went on, one of the fiancés of one of the girls said, "Get rid of the doll, burn it, throw it away." He wanted to get rid of that doll. He fell asleep one Saturday afternoon. And the doll was put right across from him on a couch. And the girls were fooling around saying, "Well, now, Annabelle, you help us to clean up," just like it was a little kid. All of a sudden, he woke up with a start. He was sweating. He said, "My God," he said, "what a nightmare I just had. I dreamt that Annabelle there was strangling me, and he had marks on his throat. Was it psychosomatic?" Well, he walks over to the doll, he picks it up, and looks at it, and throws it right across the room. "You're nothing but a rag doll. You couldn't hurt anyone." With that, 7 slashes appeared on his body, 4 in the chest and 3 on the stomach. The blood came right through his shirt. Now they were all frightened. Things were flying around the room. They called the High Episcopal Canon in Hartford. He called Father Richard Nolan. Father Nolan called us. We went to the house. Exorcism was performed immediately in the home and over the people. I took the doll back to my home here, where it's in the museum now. At one time I had it just sitting in a chair. But a priest came here one day and he said, "Ed, this doll is supposed to be infested by devils." He picks the doll up and he throws it across the room, just like the young man in the house. "God is more powerful than the devil." I said, "Yes, Father, you're right. God is more powerful than the devil, but no priest is, no man." On his way home in a brand new car on Route 84, the car went out of control, almost head on into a tractor-trailer truck. It was demolished, and the priest was almost killed. The last thing he remembered seeing was that doll. A detective, a homicide detective that Lorraine and I were working with, wanted to see the museum. We work on many cases of where children are murdered or whatever. And he came down here, he looked all over, and he said, "You know, Ed, of all the things here, I can't take my eyes off that doll." At that time, it was still in a chair. The phone rang. I said, "I'll be right back. Don't touch anything in this room. Everything in here is unholy, unblessed, the opposite of what you would find in a church." Well, I wasn't even up there talking for 10 minutes. I heard him coming up the stairs. He had to come through the passageway into the Halloween room and up into the kitchen. This man was a huge guy. He was about 6'3", 250 pounds, used to seeing grisly sights. He was sweating. He couldn't speak. He was trembling. I thought he was having a heart attack. I told him to sit down and I'd call an ambulance. He said, "No, no, Ed, it isn't that." I said, "Well, what's wrong?" I don't want to talk about it. That's what he said. I don't want to talk about it. Sometimes a little macho and cops,
Right.
you know.
Sure.
And Lorraine walked in, and he looked at Lorraine, and I guess he found it easier to talk to a woman than a man. He said, I'll tell her about it, but I don't want her to ever talk about it again. Well, she didn't have to. The doll had been in the chair over in one corner of this room. When I came in, the doll was over in another corner on the floor. Everything had been knocked over, like there was a terrible struggle here. There was a terrible struggle. This man had picked that doll up.
Wow.
His aura had mingled with the aura of that doll, and something so terrible occurred that he resigned from the police department 3 months later and moved to California.
Is that right?
A young man came in here one day with a bunch of college students, and after I told him about the doll and many other things, he came over here. I was standing over in the other corner. He started tapping on this glass and said, I don't believe any of this is a bunch of hooey. He said, if that doll can do anything, let it do something to me right now. Put a slash on me. I put him out of the building. He was on a motorcycle. 3 hours later, he was dead.
Wow.
The girl that he was with said that he was laughing about the doll when the motorcycle, just like the car, went out of control, hit a tree, and killed him instantly.
Yeah.
The girl was in the hospital for over a year. You do never challenge devils.
Don't mess with the devil, that's
No.
for sure, huh?
As terrifying as that story is, I have to be honest with you. Thinking like a magician would think, right? I thought it was all just BS. I didn't think cursed items existed at all until I had my very own personal experience with something that I like to call the witch's idol. This thing is so creepy. I found this at a local garage sale, and believe it or not, this was free. Absolutely free. Which is kind of strange why it was free. And I'll tell you why it was strange. It was because of the interaction that I had with the woman. So I saw this weird, creepy doll. I saw this weird thing at the garage sale. And I went up to the woman and I said, how much do you want for this? And she took one look at me and she goes, oh, no, it's yours. Just take it. I don't want it. It's yours. Take it. And I go, ma'am, I can give you money. I'm not like that. You know, I can give you something. She goes, no, I don't want it at all. Like, just take it. Please just take it. Take it. It's yours for free. And she seemed nervous about it. That should have been the red flag right there. First of all, why was this lady giving this thing to me for free? It was clearly at a garage sale. Meaning where, you know, she planned on selling it. She planned on making a profit out of it. If not, she wouldn't put it in the garage sale. So why was she giving me this doll for free? That should have been the red flag right there. The second red flag should have been the weird symbol on the back of the doll. And then there's this weird looking symbol. I have no idea what the hell this is. There's this weird symbol on the back of the doll right there. I later found out, doing a Google search on occult symbols, and I came across the symbol, and I later found out that the symbol on the back of the doll is known as the witch's foot. The witch's foot, a symbol of the witch on the back of the doll. And the lady wanted to give it to me for free. The lady gave it to me for free. So I put 2 and 2 together, and I created my own Ouija board. Now you're probably asking yourself, why the hell would I make my own Ouija board, my DIY Ouija board, when it's so much easier to just buy a Ouija board? And the reason why I didn't want to spend my personal hard-earned money on a Ouija board is because of the fact that I did not believe in Ouija boards at the time. Notice I said I did not, as in past tense. I believe in Ouija boards now because, well, you're going to see exactly why. I'm going to show you the footage so you can see it for yourself. It's terrifying. I have my doll right over here. I got my planchette, and I got my DIY, if you will, my DIY Ouija board. DIY Ouija board. I am terrified right now, to be honest with you. I am extremely terrified. This is so scary right now. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm putting myself through this. This is horrifying. Not only is it horrifying, but it's extremely stupid. It's extremely stupid and dangerous. I guess stupid is not the right word to say. Reckless. It's very reckless to be doing this. I don't encourage any of you to try this. This is your last warning. Do not attempt to do this, okay? Because if you do this, you can actually put your soul at risk. This is scary stuff, man. The only light, I have the light off right now. The only light is coming from my cell phone camera. Because I figured the best way to do this is in the dark. So yeah, anyway, enough chat. Let's just begin. So I'm going to start by putting both fingers on the planchette. Oh my god, this is horrifying. Alright, let's begin. Is there a spirit present in this room with me right now? If you are here, give me a sign that you are here. Give me a sign that you are here. Are you in the doll right now? Is the doll causing me my health issues? Why am I having these nightmares? Why am I seeing shadow people? Can you answer my question, please? Well, guys, so far nothing is really happening. I mean, I didn't think anything was gonna happen anyway. I don't believe in Ouija boards. I don't like I said, I don't believe in this. This is just, I mean, it's horrifying, it's scary, sure, but there's nothing's happening. Nothing's happening at all, nothing. If there is someone in this room, do something. Move something, say something. Oh, I think oh, fuck. I think I'm gonna be sick. No. That's just... No, I'm fine. Yep. I'll be honest with you, okay? I did not believe that the doll was the cause of my nauseousness. I did not believe for 1 second that the doll caused me to be nauseous. I believed what I thought at the moment was I was nauseous because of my anxiety. I mean, it was terrifying. I was already like mentally terrified because of the situation. And not only that, but everything was just heightened. Everything was just heightened at this point. I was doing it in the dark. I was very anxious about the situation. I've been having all these nightmares and shadow people and all this stuff. And I think my anxiety got to me, and that is what caused me to become nauseous. I did not believe for 1 second that it was the doll. But then I looked back at the footage and fuck. I looked back at the footage and I saw something that just made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. In a moment, you're gonna see me become nauseous. I will run towards the bathroom. After that happens, keep your eye on the doll. Keep in mind that this is one continuous shot. There are no camera tricks. People know me as a magician, but I promise you that this is anything but an illusion. This is 100% real. If there is someone in this room, do something. Move something, say something. Oh, I think I'm not. Oh, fuck. I think I'm gonna be sick. No. That's just. No, I'm fine. Yep.